Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So inshallah we'll be continuing with the articulation points of the Arabic letters. Inshallah now we'll be looking at each of the 5 organs of speech in detail in the next few lessons. In this lesson we'll be covering al-Jawf and al-Halq, the letters that come from al-Jawf and al-Halq, inshallah. Okay, bismillah. Okay, so here we have al-Jawf. Al-Jawf, like we saw in the last lesson, is the empty space in the chest, throat and mouth. The 3 letters Alif, Waw and Ya come from al-Jawf when they are in the following 2 conditions. So when Alif, Waw and Ya are in the following 2 conditions, then these letters come from al-Jawf. The first condition is the letter will be sakin. The letter will be sakin. So these letters will be sakin. The second one is before it has a similar sounded vowel. The similar sounded vowel for Alif, Alif, a would be a fatha. The similar sounded vowel for Waw, you can see the roundness of the lips, Waw, feel it, and then the corresponding haraka would be a dhamma. Ya, if you say ya, the corresponding vowel would be a kasra. So these letters will be sakin, and the corresponding haraka that comes before it, the vowel, would be for Alif it would be a fatha, for Waw it would be a dhamma, and for Ya it would be a kasra. They become a Jawf letter or a mud letter of lengthening, and the lengthened sound comes from this non-specific al-Jawf area. So basically Alif, Waw and Ya, when they are in these 2 conditions, they come from al-Jawf. So it's actually the sound u, e, that when we read in the Qur'an, when we words such as Ya ayyuhal ladina, for example, this sound, or alladhi, this e sound, yeah, it comes from al-Jawf. And amanu, the Waw, the u sound comes from al-Jawf. Okay. Otherwise, if you look at these letters Alif, Waw, Ya, they have their own articulation points. They have their own makhraj, except for Alif. We'll come back to Alif inshallah, but Waw and Ya have their own makhraj. So for example, when Waw and Ya have a haraka on them, they come from their original makhraj. For Waw is the lips, for Ya it's the middle of the tongue. But it's only when they, in the Mus'haf, when they appear empty, they have nothing on them. With these 2 conditions, these letters will be sakin, and they will have a similar sounded vowel. So for the Waw it will have a dhamma, for the Ya it will have a kasra preceding it. Then these sounds will be coming from al-Jawf, and they become a mud letter. So this is what is known as a mud letter. These are the 3 mud letters, the letters of lengthening. Mud meaning lengthening. And inshallah, coming back to the Alif, this Alif here in the Mus'haf, this Alif is only, it can't carry a vowel. This is the only letter in the Arabic alphabet that doesn't carry a vowel. So in the Mus'haf, the A-U-E sound comes from the Hamza, but this Alif, whenever you see it, it's only a letter of lengthening. It's a mud letter when you see this long stick Alif. So inshallah, carrying on. You can see by these examples, Alif with a sukoon preceded by a letter with a fatha. So here we are. If you see this Alif here, after the Qaf with a fatha, you see the Alif here is sakin, the 2 conditions. The first one sakin, and the second one, it has a preceding fatha, corresponding vowel, which is the fatha. Qala, qala. This A sound is coming from al-Jawf. Waw with a sukoon preceded by a letter with a dhamma. This is the oo sound. So yaqulu, yaqulu. This oo sound coming from al-jawf. Ya with a sukoon preceded by a letter with a kasra. This e sound, e. Qila, qila. You see the ya here is empty, preceded by its corresponding vowel, a kasra. And here on the diagram, and then this at the bottom of the page, you can see it just illustrates to you what it looks like, what your mouth looks like when you say these, when these letters come out from al-jawf. So you see it's this empty space coming all the way from the chest to through the throat, out of the mouth. So the sounds and then the sound oo, and then e. You see, it's just the empty space. The tongue is redundant. We don't need to use the tongue. It just stays where it is. And the sound just comes out like this. So it's for al-jawf is the area, is the empty space in the chest, throat and mouth, where the sounds oo, e, the lengthening sounds, which are attached to some letters and some words, attached to words, and this is how we read them. Okay, and they come from al-jawf. Okay, so the next organ of speech we'll be looking at is the throat, al-halq. The throat is al-halq. 3 articulation points for 6 letters. So 3 articulation points, 6 letters. Hamza, ha, come from the deep throat. Ain, ha, come from the middle of the throat. Ghain and kha come from upper throat. And here you can see a bit more clearer diagrams to help you. Bismillah, starting from Hamza and Ha. You see they come from the bottom most part of the throat. Now you can do an exercise by touching with your fingers, touching the bottom of the throat and saying so, and you can feel a vibration on the fingers. Okay, that's this Hamza. And this is the one that makes the u, e sound in the Mus'haf when you read the Qur'an. Like this. And this is ha, ha, ha. Both of these share the same articulation point, the bottom of the throat. Okay, one of them, the Hamza, is read by closing the windpipe. So when you say saying it with a sukoon, you can feel the windpipe closing. And for ha, you can feel the windpipe is open and the air just flows. And then again, because both of these have different qualities, one of them, the makharij is weak. So the ha, the makharij is quite weak. So we say so the sound just runs, the sound and the air just runs. Whereas Hamza, you can feel there's no air coming, and also the sound cuts off. And that's, inshallah, we'll be covering that in the Sifat, inshallah. So that's Hamza and Ha. And this is not like the English H. Okay, just to make it clear. This is different. The English H is different to this Ha, Ha, Ha. Okay, so moving on. The letters Ain and Ha. These are, Ain is a very special letter. It's very tricky. For some sisters, it's specific to the Arabic language, so it's quite tricky for some sisters. So to know where it comes from and to know its qualities would be very helpful, inshallah. So you move the tongue back towards the throat wall to produce Ain and Ha. This is around here. It's a bit above. So this is the middle of the throat. It's above Hamza and Ha. So you again put your finger in the middle of the throat and say ain, like this. And then ha, like this, sort of. Just try to and make sure this doesn't sound like a kha. This isn't a kha, it's a ha. The air just runs. And this ha and this ha are different. So we don't confuse these two ha's together. Okay? One comes from the bottom of the throat and one comes from the middle of the throat. So, Bismillah, carrying on. The top of the throat are the letters ghain and kha. Kha. You join the tongue with the upper inner soft palate to produce ghain, kha. Over here. You can see I've tried to highlight it here. You can see this is the soft palate and this is almost just behind where qaf comes from. And it's not, these letters don't come from the throat, from the tongue. They come from the throat, the uppermost part of the throat. Almost feels like it's coming from the tongue, but it's not. So it's not for example, khalidina. It's not ka. It's kha. Kha. It's like you're clearing your throat, like this. And this is ghain. This has no air. Kha has air. Ghain has no air. So say them both with a sukoon. Agh. This is agh. 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 No air. This is agh. Agh. So this has air. And this is what differentiates both of them. Because they come from the same place. And obviously this is the characteristic that differentiates them. So if you don't make a distinction, make a difference between them two, between the air coming for kha and no air coming for ghain, ghain can sound like a kha. Okay, so therefore, again, I keep emphasizing on the sifat, the qualities of the letters. It's very important to study them and to know. Bismillah. Okay, so alhamdulillah, that's all for this lesson. Inshallah, next lesson we'll be carrying on with the next organ of speech, which is al-lisan, and this one has the most letters articulated from out of all of the other organs of speech. So inshallah we'll meet next time. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.